Hello, everybody. Welcome. We are going to get started in just a second. It's nice to have a couple of about a minute to let people trickle in while everybody's coming into the room. Just say, first of all, thank you all for joining us today for this info series about neighborhoods and building communities. This is going to be the first of a two-parter because we have so many really great programs within the city and wanted to spend some time talking about how the partner departments and development services all can help you to support your community and whether we have new neighbors or well-established neighbors, it's always a good time to go by and revisit the or learn about programs that are available through the city. So today we're going to be talking about the Neighborhood Assistance Center, but we're also going to have with us from the Austin Public Libraries is joining us and Austin Resource Recovery. So just in general, our info series is about different ways that the development services and our partner departments help with development throughout the community and that just various ways. But today we have with us Jennifer Peters from Austin Public Libraries, Megan Oberdoister, Julia Ruth, and Taylor Nelson from Austin Resource Recovery. And I am Leah Adrian with the Austin, the Neighborhood Assistance Center. So with that, just to let everybody know the format for today's session, we're going to have our presentation, so from all three groups, and then we're going to follow that with a Q&A session. During the presentation, if you have a question that pops up and you want to just go ahead and put it out there, you can use the Q&A box. If you look on your screen, you should have, I believe where it says more, you'll have a little option for a Q&A. Drop it in there. We have the chat there if you have any technical issues, but otherwise we don't really, it's better to use the Q&A function because it'll capture your questions and then when we answer it, we can share it to the rest of the group. So we'll have that at the end. We'll have a Q&A where we'll either go through your questions that you've answered or you'll have an opportunity to raise your hand and we can talk to you then. But as mentioned today, we're going to start with the Neighborhood Assistance Center. That's part of the Development Services Department. And then Jennifer will join us from Austin Public Library. She'll talk about the different ways, the programs and different services that are available through the community. There's just a lot of different ways that you can meet new people or grow your brain or your kid's brain or learn new crafts. So that's exciting to talk about. And then Austin Resources Recovery is going to talk about the various programs that they have, whether you're a renter or a homeowner or a business. There's something that everybody can use to benefit with Austin Resource Recovery. And then we'll move to the Q&A session. So with that, I will go ahead and start and talk to you again. My name is Leah Adrian. My counterpart is Mary Helen McCarthy. We are the Neighborhood Assistance Center. And in general, Austin Development Services, the reason why our department is here is to help with creating a safe built environment. We have people all over the city, whether you're a homeowner or a renter or a business owner or a contractor, there's a way for you to probably have to connect with us at some point, whether it's getting a sign at your business or putting in a water heater. There's various ways that we will interact with you to help with that, getting permits and inspections, just again to make sure that we have a safe built environment. And specifically for the Neighborhood Assistance Center, Mary Helen and I, we are here specifically to help community members. So if you have questions about what's going on in your area, sometimes if you look across the street on your way to work, and you see a building that's being built and you don't know what it is, we can help you with that. Or maybe it's larger, big projects that you're curious about. Anytime that there's development within the city, we are a resource for you. We have counterparts, the development process team. If you are a small business or if you are a homeowner and you have questions about specific permits and not really sure where to start with that development, they can help you too. But you're always welcome to reach out for us and to start there. Some of the things that we and what we do, if you have questions again about development in your area, if you want to look at if you want to have, if you're having a community meeting and you want to have a representative there just to help answer questions, we also maintain the community registry database, which I'll talk about in a second. And then we teach the community about the different online tools that the department has for you to conduct your own research, whether it's your own property or a neighbor's property, neighboring properties. You can use these tools, and I'll tell you just a little bit about those in just a second. And so, why is this helpful? Things like if you're looking at buying a home and you want to do a little research about the property itself or the neighborhood, if you are going to apply for a permit and want to know more, our tools that are available are helpful so we can show you how to use those. You can learn about your neighborhood. You can learn about things like research the floodplains, or if you want to know where the salamanders live in Austin or what kind of trees are on your property, we have tools available. And again, we can show you how to use that. And then also, if you want to have notifications sent to you for questions about specific areas that you're interested in, we can show you how to set those up. And we do that through, these are the main tools. And I will say that this presentation today has a whole lot of links in it. And so two things is one, we can send this out to everybody, the actual presentation, so you'll have all of those links and our contact information. But we also are recording this. And so on our info series website, we have in about a week, it usually takes us about a week to put the entire video presentation online. And then it'll also have the downloadable PDF of this presentation. So if you want to share it to your neighbors or just to have on hand for future reference, you can also check that out there. But just a quick run through about the development services tools. These are ones that interact with various systems. The first one mentioned is the community registry database. And again, Mary Helen and I are the ones that maintain that. And the main function of that community registry database is the groups that are listed in there receive official development notifications. So if you have whatever your boundaries are, if you want to get those development notifications, those are sent to the primary contact listed in that community registry database. You don't have to be. So if your neighborhood association isn't listed there, you don't have to be. It's not like the state mandated anything. It's voluntary and it's self-registered. So it's up to you to keep that up to date. But if you have a group that is interested in joining, by all means, reach out and we are happy to help with that. For property profile, this is one of our one of the most robust functions that we have or programs we have. And it's interesting because it pulls in information. It's a GIS, so you'll see a map and you can put in addresses or you can look for intersections or you can search by specific permits itself. But it has various data sources that come in. So not only do you have the permit system pulling in information, we have things like the Travis and Williamson County, and I believe Hayes County, it's whatever's in that city of Austin border, has data coming into it from there. You'll have it from various watershed groups. You have it like environmental things, departments. So there's lots of different streams of data that are coming into one interactive GIS system. And within that, you can perform search functions. You can look at it through various layers. It's really intricate. So you can get as complicated or as simple as you want. But I highly recommend if you haven't poked around in it, you can't break it. There's no way to break it. It's just it's information that's coming in and a way to just do some really great research. The development tracker is another system that we use, and it's also got an interactive map and multiple data sources, but it focuses on different types of permits and zoning applications. So within that, you can also set up email alerts to if you want to know within a specific boundary any, we'll say, plumbing permit that happens within your area for whatever reason, or any zoning case. You can set up a search parameter, and when those do come up, they will send you an email to, or send you an alert to your email. So that's helpful if you want to just kind of have a passive stream of data coming to you about specific things you're interested in. It's a great tool to have. And then Austin Bill Connect, I'm sure many of you are familiar with that. If you've ever applied for a permit or if you want to do research, that's also one you can do it. If you are applying for a permit, that's one of the main systems that you'll use. And that's connected to our back end system where we hold documents. We hold all the applications. And so there's a version of that that's available for public viewing. And it is, you can either do a search, you can log in, you can create a login for when you're applying for permits. But if you just want to do a public search, you can also do that without creating a login. So that's available. So you can, again, you can look at more specific information about specific permits, but you also can do searches for if you want to know all of the, again, we'll say plumbing permits within a certain area or a certain date range, you can also do that. So lots of different data streams. If any of this is of interest, I have our contact information here, which again, you will receive. I'll send this out. And those two, they are general email inboxes, but Mary Helen and I are both of the ones that watch those, monitor those daily. So it's better for us to have it that way, just so that way we can divvy out who's going to work on what. And if one of us happens to be able to go on a vacation, the other one can also see it. So you're also able to schedule an appointment via that link. And with those appointments, they're 30 minutes, they're virtual usually, and they're free. So if you just want to sit here and, visit with us and want to talk about specific questions, you are welcome to use that function as well. So that in a nutshell is the Neighborhood Assistance Center and what we do. Again, I welcome you to reach out to us. And if you have questions, and again, if it's something that we don't know, or even if it's one of our partner departments that we're not sure of, sometimes it's easier for us to go through and try to research what's going on as opposed to the community doing it. That's why we're here. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Jennifer Peters. She is joining us from Austin Public Libraries, and she's going to show us all sorts of different ways that you can access the services that the libraries provide. So with that, Jennifer, I hand it to you. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I actually wrote down some notes from your presentation, so I'm learning some things as well. So lots of good information here. Hi, everyone. My name is Jennifer Peters. I am the Division Manager for Programs and Partnerships here at Austin Public Library, and I am excited to tell you a little bit about our program services and offerings. Next slide, please. Kind of a quick overview of Austin Public Library. Our mission is here, inspiring all to discover, learn, and create with a vision of being a model for equity, inclusion, access, and diversity. I've written our strategic priorities, shown our strategic priorities there as well, which you can look at when you get this presentation. Next slide. So just a little bit about Austin Public Library. We have a number of locations scattered throughout the community. Our central branch, which is the photograph there on the right, is kind of our flagship, largest building, but we have 20 community branches, again, scattered all over town. We have the Austin History Center, and we have a bookmobile and do pop-up outreach in underserved communities all through Austin. Anyone who lives in Austin can qualify for a free library card, and anybody in a couple of the extraterritorial jurisdictions as well. If you do not fit in those categories, we do have options for non-residents, a huge range of cards from actual cards to digital cards. That's all accessible on our website. Next slide, please. So just to give you an overview of how active we are, I know some folks, they kind of stop going to the library after they leave school and they're not sure about kind of the range of things that are happening at Austin Public Library. Last year, we offered 5,400 different programs. We have laptops and computers available. We have hosted over 330,000 computer sessions. We have over 338,000 card holders. We saw 3 million visitors. We had 4.2 million minutes logged for our summer reading program, which we do every summer. And ours is just about to end up. We think we're going to uh, go over that amount and hit our 4.5 million minutes logged this year. We had 7.3 million physical and digital materials that were checked out and 25 million website hits. So there's a lot going on here. Next slide, please. So, so I'll go over some of our service options. Of course, libraries are for kids. We offer story times at all of our branches. We actually have our own puppets, and we do puppet shows throughout the community. We have a puppet named Van who does interviews with authors, local authors and visiting authors. Every student at Austin Independent School District and Del Valle Independent School District and several charter schools automatically get their own library card that's tied to their student ID. And so students make sure that all students have access to the library. And of course, we have our summer reading programs where we encourage we encourage everyone from youth to adults to log their summer, the minutes that they've read for prizes. Kids get to take home a brand new book. Adults this year are getting a really nifty dinosaur themed coffee mug. For teens, we offer events and workshops. We provide homework help, and we do offer a few paid teen fellowships at the library where they can come in and learn about issues of note to libraries and earn a little pocket money as well. Next page. For adults, we offer a really wonderful opportunity for neighborhoods to come together in community and pursue all sorts of kinds of entertainment and educational initiatives, book clubs. We offer a variety of craft programs. Those are very, very popular. We actually have people who go to branches all over the city to go to our craft programs. We offer film and gaming opportunities. We have health and wellness. Something that's really popular right now is free yoga classes that are scattered throughout the city. Technology access, as I mentioned, we do offer checkoutable laptops, and we also have ones that can be used at your library branch. Business and tech opportunities. We have, for example, a group of retired corporate executives who come to the downtown branch about once a month to meet with aspiring entrepreneurs. We offer language and writing opportunities, a lot of, for example, English language practice. And of course, we love to have volunteers coming in to assist with our programs and events. Next slide, please. So in addition, so obviously libraries have books and we have a lot to offer to check out, but we do a lot of things beyond books as well. So next slide. So I don't know if you know, but we do have our own gift shop. We are, I think, known for having really great swag. Our t-shirts are wonderful. We've got great stickers, pens, all sorts of great things. The gift shop is a really fun place to come for just literary themed gifts as well. I generally buy a lot of my Christmas ornaments here. So there's fun stuff to check out. We have an art gallery in our central branch, which you can see is pictured in this up here in the upper left of the pictures. And we bring in mostly local artists to do installations and try to really highlight all sorts of different kinds of artists throughout the community. Our innovation lab offers computer equipment and technology from like a 3D printer to we actually have a studio where if you were interested in, say, doing your own podcast or making a recording. We have a lot of equipment that can be used that way. We offer shared learning and meeting rooms. Those are available at all branches where you can borrow a room and use it for your own purposes, as long as it's free and open to the public. We have rental space. People get married at Central all the time. We have businesses that come and do meetings. There are all sorts of ways that people can use, especially the flagship branch, which has, I think, some of the most beautiful views in Austin. We have passport services and we have many bilingual programs and resources throughout the system. Next slide, please. Also, something that I don't know that people know is that we have thousands of downloadable ebooks, magazines, audiobooks in multiple languages. Most of my favorite magazines I can access through my library card, and can just access them online. Streaming movies and music for free. Lots of online resources. I wrote down a couple I think people may not know. For example, that we have Chilton Library, all those car manuals you can get from us for free, consumer reports, Mango Languages if you're interested in learning another language, investment centers, GED and job skills, free legal forms, newspapers, just a ton of information that you can explore and see if what meets your needs. We do have customized help, and those links will be in the presentation when you get it. Ask a librarian, and you also have the ability to book a librarian for a free half-hour session for more in-depth research. Next slide, please. We also have Wi-Fi hotspots that are checkoutable. There's a pretty big waiting list, but you can borrow them if that's something that you need. And we offer STEM kits and backpacks with learning toys that you can check out for all. We just announced this morning, I think, that our tool library is back in circulation. So you can check out small tools for home repair available through our catalog. We do field trips and tours throughout the system. We are often a place where voter registration can be found. We have polling sites, and we provide assistance with technology. Next slide. So these links are all ways that you can get involved with APL, getting a library card. You can learn more about our strategic priorities, how to volunteer with us, how to support us, become a partner, and just contact us anytime. We're here. We are a public service focus, and so we love to assist. Next slide. So again, that is me, and that is my contact information. We have some general question, our line for general questions, and specifically for library card questions and assistance. So with that, again, thank you so much for the opportunity to share some information about APL with you. I will be turning it over now to the Office of Resource Recovery.
Hi, everyone. I'm Megan. I'm a community engagement specialist with Austin Resource Recovery, and I have two other colleagues here today. I have Taylor and Julia who will be jumping on and sharing some information about our programs and services as well with me. All right, so next slide. So we'll be going over the Austin Resource Recovery background, talk about our zero waste goal and philosophies, and then we'll get into more about our programs and services, and then we'll have time for questions at the end. Next slide. So Austin Resource Recovery is a department with the City of Austin. We provide essential services that protect people and our planet. We collect recycling, composting, trash, large bulk brush items, and household hazardous waste from our curbside customers. And we also do dead animal collection and street sweeping. We recycle and safely dispose of household hazardous waste and provide outreach and education to the community. Austin Resource Recovery is driving the global transformation of waste management into a more sustainable resource recovery. Next slide. As I mentioned, we have a goal, a zero waste goal. So this is to reduce waste that's sent to our landfills by 90% by 2040. Less than 10% of the items that end up in landfills actually belong in them. So we provide a lot of education, programs, and services to promote alternatives to throwing things away. Next slide. Our programs and services are driven by the zero waste philosophy. And on the screen right now, you can see that inverted triangle of the recovery hierarchy. So this shows how we can help move away from disposing of items by default and switching to focus more on reducing and reusing products, keeping them back in circulation. So just thinking in the mindset of one person's trash can be someone else's treasure. So at the very top in that yellow block, we have redesigning manufacturing, supply chains, product design, and stewardship. So at this very top level, we as the city of Austin don't have much influence over that. This is more coming from those big businesses, encouraging them to redesign their products to include less disposable materials, maybe packaging and less plastic, designing things to last rather than just single-use items. Under that, we have a little bit more influence over that. So reducing, this is more on the individual. So encouraging people to reduce what they purchase, purchase meaningful items. Don't buy things that are single-use items, something that's only going to last a season, being mindful about your purchases. That next level has repair, reuse, and donate items. So this is keeping things in circulation, extending their life in their current form. So if you still have an item that's in good repair, send it off to donations or see if someone else can use it. Under that, we have the repurposing, recycling, and composting. So this is taking an item that's kind of outlived its current form, turning it into something new. So repurposing a glass jar into a vase or something, or using it to hold something else, making sure you're taking use of those recycling and composting services that are available to you in Austin. And then if the item can't fit into any of those other categories, then it can be sent to the landfill. So this drives our programs and services. We are hitting a lot of things in this hierarchy to encourage keeping things in circulation and reducing purchasing. All right, next slide, please. So we're going to go into our services now. So for our essential services, we provide collection services for single-family homes up to 4-plexes. That also includes our on-demand services, which we'll talk a little bit more about. Our citywide services are funded by the Clean Community Fee. So those are our street sweeping and the animal collection. We also will talk about the access to the Reuse and Recycle Center that's available to all Austin Travis County residents. And yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Julia, and she'll talk about the programs and services the services that we offer. So recycling, composting, trash, those are available to all Austinites, whether they live in our single family homes that we service or in apartments or condos. All right, next slide, and I'll hand it off to Julia.
Thanks, Megan. I'm Julia. I just started with Austin Resource Recovery in March, so I'm happy to be here. I'm going to go into a little bit more detail on our services. So for recycling, for curbside collections, and most commercial collections, we ask that you please do not bag your recyclables. Plastic bags become tanglers in the system, so we have to keep all the plastic bags out of the carts. The only time you might be asked to bag your recyclables is if you have a valet collection at a multifamily property or apartment, which would be between the servicer, the property, and the hauler. We take paper, hard plastics, cardboard, metals, glass, and cartons. Cartons are our newest recyclable item. So any of those waxy coated cartons. Sometimes people refer to them as Tetra Paks. So you might see soups, or I get oat milk or dairy products come in cartons. Those are recyclable. Next slide. For composting collection, we really encourage folks to start composting all of their food scraps and using a kitchen compost collector. Take that from the kitchen and take it directly to your green bin. Of course, yard trimmings, any natural fibers like soiled paper towels, even if it has cleaning products on it, it's okay to go into the compost, to our commercial composting facility. Greasy pizza boxes is another example. That would not be recycled because if it's got any kind of grease on it, it's better to put that into the compost bin. You can avoid the ick of the bin by using I reuse the paper bags from, like, when you get tacos or to-go food. You can use paper bags for collection, or you can buy the green BPI certified compostable bags for your compost collector. We just have to make sure we're keeping out any plastic bags, no plastic in the compost carts. Next slide. For trash collection, You can save money on your utility bill by choosing a smaller trash cart. So that is something to consider if you currently have a really large one and you want to go down a size. You can find out more information about that. So for trash collection, of course, any snack bags and like wrappers go in the trash, garden hoses, as you can see from the picture, rope, broken glass. We ask it if you have a broken glass item, you put that into wrap it up in paper or box it and put that in the trash. This is a safety issue. Also, plastic silverware is too small for the recycling bins. We say if it's smaller than about the size of your fist, which plastic silverware is, it messes with the machines. And then, of course, mixed paper and plastic products. And pet waste. Next slide. For our on-demand collections, you get 3 on-demand collections of each service. So this applies to your bulk collection. You get 3 collections for brush, 3 for household hazardous waste. So this is for bulk. We've broken it down into tires, non-metal or metal items. You can use the app to schedule these or go online to austintexas.gov/myschedule or Austin Recycles, or call 311. Next slide. For brush collection, this is another of the on-demand services for which you get 3 per year. You can see from the photo that is tree trunks need to be tree trunks that are more than 8 inches in diameter must be less than 3 feet long, and branches and tree limbs should be between 5 and 15 feet in length. You can schedule this on the app or calling 311 or visiting us online. What was the other thing I was going to say about this? 3 a year. I just had something in my head and I lost it. Sorry. Come back if I need to. I'll go to the next slide. For household hazardous waste, another of your on-demand services. This applies for cooking oil and grease, fluorescent light bulbs, only fluorescent light bulbs, not other types of light bulbs, mercury, pool chemicals, batteries. We do also have the option of saving your batteries to go to any Austin Public Library location. You can visit austintexas.gov on demand for set out instructions. I recently scheduled one using the app and it was great. Next slide. So for clothing and textiles, this service is aimed to help customers dispose of clothing and textiles properly and keep those out of the landfill. Residential customers can call us and have up to 2 13-gallon bags picked up. The bags should be placed in an accessible area for collection staff, such as like by the front door, on the porch, or like under a carport. Do not set the bags on the curb next to the carts because those would be confused as extra trash and not be picked up properly. So we want to make sure that our crews can see the bag from the street when approaching the front door and keep those separate from your carts. Next slide. For our citywide services, Megan mentioned street sweeping, dead animal collection. These are citywide services funded through the Clean Community Fee, which is included in your monthly bill. Residential streets are swept up to 6 times a year, while other streets and protected bike lanes are swept closer to twice a month. Collections staff will remove dead animals from the right-of-way, and you can use the 311 app to report a pickup, needing a pickup, or visit the website or calling 311. Next slide. For our recycle and reuse center, it is by appointment. You can make an appointment using our Austin Recycles app. You can take hard to recycle items like styrofoam, plastic bags, all of the things you see in that picture, electronics, shoes, clothing and housewares, household hazardous waste, of course. And then while you're there, you can visit, we have a little shed where you can pick up cleaning products that still have plenty of good use to them, or various other items in that shed. You can also pick up free mulch, and Austin Reblend paint, which I think they usually have like 4 or 5 different colors, based on the information I got at the last tour I went on. Of course, if you join the Zero Waste Block Leader program, you are able to access the Recycle and Reuse Center without an appointment. That's one of the perks of the Zero Waste Block Leader program, which we'll talk about here shortly. But this is the place for any of your batteries and all of the things listed there. And you can find more information on our website. Next slide. So this is our Austin Recycles app. Those are QR codes to download. The My Schedule calendar tool is really helpful. It sends me calendar reminders to remind me which week is recycling week. That's optional. The What Do I Do With tool, you can just quickly enter something that you're curious about, like what do I do with this? And it's kept up to date really well, and that can be a super helpful tool. You can also find out information on austinrecycles.com. You can schedule your on-demand collections through this app and also make appointments to visit the Recycle and Reuse Center. With that, I'm going to pass it over to one of my colleagues to talk about programs.
Yeah, I just wanted
Next
to
slide.
jump in really quick and add that note that you had mentioned on the on-demand brush slide. I think we may have missed that when you do the curbside composting collection, you can collect we can collect up to 15 additional items. So if you have less than the bulk collection, but more than you typically put out, you can set out up to 15 additional piles of brush or of those lawn waste bags as well. And then just a quick correction, we don't accept cleaning items, any like rags or any paper products that have cleaning items on them, just because it creates contamination in the compost. So just wanted to add those quick notes, and then we can go ahead and pass it over to Taylor to talk about our programs.
Thanks, Megan.
Appreciate y'all. Yes, hopping in the programs. Next slide. Perfect. Yes. So one of the things that we offer through our programming is the circular economy program. And as you can see from the bullet points, we have many sub programs of this circular economy. And the circular economy overall is keeping things out of the landfill and keeping it within circulation, hence the circular model there. The first bullet point we're going to hop into is the Austin Reuse Directory. This is the best place to go to find where you can donate or purchase items that are ranging from toys to clothes, outside of what you might think from a Goodwill or a Salvation Army. So it's one of my favorite places to check out if I'm looking for things in my household that I need to either get rid of or purchase that I need. The next bullet point, which is signaled by the image on that slide, is Move Out ATX. This is something that we do every year as students move out from UT. We collect the things that they don't want to take with them and provide a small market that other community members can attend and pick up items themselves. But moving forward, we're really hoping to establish a reuse warehouse to collect furniture to benefit those going through transitional periods in their life. So that's another benefit to Move Out ATX, is not only is it helping those that want items, but also those that need items moving forward. We also offer fix-it clinics through the Circular Economy program, and those range from mending classes all the way to minor electronic fixing type classes. And then we also offer programs for zero waste at city facilities, just to keep our impact low and our footprint low at city facilities as well, with what we produce for waste. And then the last two are the Circular Austin Showcase and the Circular Austin Accelerator. These are things I've attended in the past out of personal interest, and I've just found them fascinating. The showcase is almost like a Shark Tank type pitch, where local entrepreneurs take either Second Life or near life materials and turn them into products or services. And that can range from pickled cucumbers all the way to reusing aluminum cans for jewelry or like earrings. And then the accelerator is the program that offers support to those entrepreneurs to go through this process and better understand how to level up what they offer in terms of services and what their overall entrepreneurial goals are. So next slide. And then our business outreach team, this is part of our team, part of a different team that reaches out to those that are businesses as well as multifamily communities. And their primary focus is on construction and demolition recycling ordinances, the Universal Recycling Ordinance, the URO, which applies to everyone in the city of Austin, as well as pushing the zero waste business rebates that could apply to restaurants or other types of food vendors so that they can cut down their costs while also promoting circular or zero waste goals with their packaging or their utensils being compostable instead of plastic. They also offer a variety of other type of services if you're a business related type entity. So definitely reach out to them if that's the category that you fit in. Next slide. The policy development team, they focus on the city's zero waste goals by developing policies and programs, and those range from comprehensive plans to enforcing regulations and policies for multifamily composting. And they also offer a lot of context and regulations and support around special event ordinances such as South by Southwest, ACL, when we have increased waste and recycling and composting needs for those types of special events. And they also do, I would say, related policy and regulations for our different districts that we have, ranging from downtown central district, business district, and then a few other areas as well. Next slide. In the Austin Brownfields Revitalization Office, this is basically where we provide assessments on degraded or eroded land or contaminated land as to how they can best use that land moving forward. And as you can see, we have the Central Library featured here as well. That is definitely a Brownfields project that we're very proud of as part of the city. To have built that and also done some remediation along the waterway that is right directly across from the library. So again, just reducing footprint and moving towards that zero waste goal of let's maximize what we have, especially land that might not be looked at twice, but we can really reevaluate it and see what we can use it for moving forward. All right, next slide. And then, as Julia mentioned earlier, the Zero Waste Block Leader program is something that we're very fond of. We have great relationships individually with our Zero Waste Block Leaders. Julia and I also were Zero Waste Block Leaders before joining the city of Austin. So there's a lot of great opportunities here. The minimum requirement that we ask you to do is 10 hours a year, and you have to log that into a tracker that we provide you. And after you complete your orientation, you can then become a Zero Waste Block Leader, and then we provide you with other resources and online tools that you can use for not only yourself, but your nearby community and potentially working with other Zero Waste Block Leaders to do local community collections for school drives or for certain materials that could go to the reuse and recycle center. But again, this is just one of our fantastic programs that we really love to have and love to see people participate and have their own ownership in their own backyard as it relates to being a volunteer. Next slide. And this is our question slide. This is the best way to reach us is either calling 311 or the number listed here or visiting our website as well. And as previously mentioned, we love people using our app. So please download that, both the Austin Recycles app as well as the 311 app. And those will be the mightiest tools that you could have in your tool belt. And I believe we'll progress from here.
Yes. All right, everybody. You all just got a ton of information about 3 different programs here. So with that, we're going to open it up to the Q&A portion of the presentation. It does look like we had a few questions that had come in, and so I'm going to start with those. And then if you do have a question, use the function on your screen to raise your hand if you'd like to ask it live. Or if you want to just type something into the Q&A box, you're welcome to do that as well. We have a couple of them that were already answered. And the first one was, again, just putting links, sending it out. Because there are so many links, I will put all of this into that presentation. I'm going to send it to everybody that has registered. And then that way you all can access all of them, including all of the library and all of the Austin Resource Recovery links. There was also a great question. It says, what do you do with the clothing and textiles collected? And Megan said, clothing and textiles are collected by a third party and they are used, either reused or recycled. And so again, that helps just to keep those out of those landfills. I will say, there was a question about how the Neighborhood Assistance Center interacts with the contact teams. This is definitely one where there's a little bit of, I don't want to say confusion, but the neighborhood contact teams were created and there's legal documentation, and it is a specific footprint of neighborhoods, and those contact teams work with the planning department. So Maureen Meredith is the person that manages that. Now those neighborhood contact teams are still listed in the community registry. They'll have their contact information there, and so they are sent development notifications when they are within their areas. But then there's a separate process for working with Maureen and the planning department when certain zoning or certain things go through, that planning works directly with those neighborhood contact teams. So we have their information in the community registry, but planning works with those groups directly to make sure that they are being involved in the areas where they need to be. We did have a good question for the libraries. It says, what resources does the library have for legal research? Jennifer, did you want to talk about that?
Sure. Well, I will preface this by saying that librarians are not lawyers, so we cannot provide legal advice. But we do have resources such as legal forms. So if you wanted to go online and see what, for example, Texas will might look at, that you could download. And then within the some of our online resources, we are going to have just legal research types of materials, and we'll probably have some in our card catalog as well. So I think sometimes people do come to us and ask us legal questions, but we can't answer those because we are not lawyers, but we do try to provide all of the informational types of legal resources that are available.
I'm going to stick with you because there was a question about, are there areas of the city where there are no libraries, or is there like a service radius for library consideration that you're aware of?
There are libraries throughout the community. I would say there are definitely areas that we have targeted as needing more library services. Our goal is to have a really strong library in each quadrant of the city: southwest, southeast, southwest, northeast, northwest. Those are something that we have our eye on in the future. I'd say if I took a quick look at the map, which you can find on our website, that I think you'll find more kind of in the north. I think the south is an area that we could definitely use more, but our goal is to have one that is easily accessible by car or preferably public transportation.
Awesome. Thank you. And I will say, I see another question about, can we make sure that the City of Austin departments use the community registry when they have things come up in the area? I will say we definitely have interactions with different groups within the city, and we often have people reach out to us. One of the good things is that any of that information, anybody can access that community registry. And I'll include this in the link, there's an open data portal link where you can view and you can sort and you can download the information from the community registry yourself to include. But within the city departments that because it's self-regulated and because it's not a mandatory program, it is not all encompassing. So if you have a group, if you have a neighborhood association, or it doesn't have to be a neighborhood association, it could be a community group. If you have, we all like gardens and that's your community group, you can reach out and you can set something up to where you are registered, and you can be included in that community registry. So because it's self-regulated, it's not mandatory. We don't have everybody included, but again, we welcome, I think there are about 480 groups that are actively registered in there, and many of them have overlapping boundaries. And again, if there are any kind of official notifications that is used, but also many of our departments do use that community registry list when they're doing things like in Speak Up Austin, or they want to do some sort of outreach for things like any kind of long-term planning. The different departments definitely will use that as a way to kind of look at making sure we involve as many groups as possible, because again, we want, when we do community outreach, I guarantee you that we want to hear from community members, and it's actually a point of frustration when we can't get out to everybody. If we're asking for input, we definitely want input. So again, take a look at it. If you see one in your area, great. If you see one that's not, that maybe your area doesn't have one, I encourage you to either reach out to me to see about how you can join, or for yourself or your community. Jennifer,
I just wanted to follow up from the questions. I'm not sure if people can see what I just put in the chat, but I did put a link to our locations and hours, as well as a legal research guide that was put together by librarians that is going to have for a lot of the resources.
awesome. That's wonderful. Thank you so much for doing that. Okay. I don't see any other raised hands. If there are any other questions, I will say that you can, when I send this out, by the way, you can sign up and you can look at different ways to follow us for the development services, but you are welcome to send me an email and I can answer those or get that routed to the groups. But last thing I'll say is that next month we're going to have another group. Again, we'll have the development services talking about different ways that you can connect with your community. But also we're going to have a group from, let me see. Oh, Austin Parks Department is going to talk about their partnerships. And then Transportation and Public Works is going to talk about different ways where you can have block parties or do shut down your streets for different things. So again, the whole point for this session and for next session is, again, we want to make sure that Austinites are able to connect with each other and meet your neighbors and be more involved and help make this awesome city even better. Megan, did you want to say something?
Yeah, one of the questions that we had answered, I don't think was read aloud, about the recycling. So someone
Oh,
asked
yes.
if it was true that 50% of things that go into the recycling end up in the landfill anyway. And I just wanted to reassure everyone that everything that goes into your cart that is recyclable does get recycled. So if it's something that we can't recycle, like in our curbside collections, like a plastic bag or maybe a diaper or something that should actually end up in the trash or is recyclable through other pathways, that unfortunately does end up in the landfill. But the items that are recyclable, so those plastics, glass, paper, all those do end up getting recycled through our vendors. We have less than a 20% contamination rate. So when items that can't be recycled end up in those carts, we call it contamination, and we have less than a 20% contamination rate across the city right now. So I just wanted to reassure everyone of that.
That your good work doesn't go untaken into account. So yeah, I know that's a big question, that just in general. I do see one more question about, is the Imagine Austin Update project under DSD or planning? I believe it's under planning. I'm not 100% sure, Malcolm, but I do believe it's under planning, but I can definitely figure that out, and I'll include that in the question. And I do see that the links for the library aren't showing up, so I will make sure to include those when I send out the email as well. And I'll send that out later today. I'll get it all set up and package everything together. Okay. Well, with that, I wanted to say thank you for our panelists for joining us today. I learned a lot, and it gets me all excited about the different programs within the city. And yeah, thank you all so much for joining, and I hope to see you next time. Thank you so much.